All right, so it's been a couple weeks since I was able to upload because I've been out working, but we have a truck. This is not my truck. This is actually Zach's truck. He is behind the camera. Say hi. I hope that comes out.
Yeah, I hope that looks good. Like it's just my nose.
I love it.
It is mine.
Insert B-roll of Zach. So anyway, we're gonna get this truck leveled and on some wheel spacers. It's gonna make it look a lot better. As you can see right now, the stance, the wheel is kind of in a little bit from the fender. So what we're gonna do is take out this wheel a little bit from that fender and also give it a little bit more gap right here to kind of level out the truck, make it look more even, because right now it has a natural rake going towards the front. One of the other things we're gonna do is take off this little flap right here, because honestly, it does help with aero, but if we take it off, we can massively improve the approach angle on this car. So once we take that off, it'll look better, it'll have some better approach angle, and yeah, it's just an easy win. It's just a few bolts, so it should be very easy. First thing we gotta do is get this jack up under here, and as you can see, this right here is the chassis, so we're gonna wanna lift it from that. Okay. That's definitely wrong, actually, because this tire should be touching the floor. But we're gonna get my new tool, the Yaga Daga, and take care of this. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, it's so much nicer. I used to do this. I used to take so long.
That's what she said.
Got me.
We'll edit that out.
All right, so back whenever we leveled my other truck back in the day, in the early days of the channel, these didn't exist. And this looks much easier to install. This is how it's gonna go. In the past, we've gotten something like this over here. I'll show you. These are gonna be the wheel spacers. In the past, something very similar to this used to go at the top of the strut right there to give it some extra distance to kind of raise the height of the truck. Nowadays, they just have this little piece right here. And it's even easier because you don't even have to remove the strut. So if you look in here, this will actually just insert right there, like underneath where those bolts are, and give it the distance from the bottom instead of being the distance from the top. So I've never seen this before until when we started working on this project right here. And I'm thinking this is gonna go much better than in the past, everything that we've done. So we'll see. I'm very optimistic for it actually. So we just went ahead and disconnected this ABS sensor right here. So now all we're gonna do, start loosening stuff willy-nilly.
A little bit of here, a little bit of there.
A little bit of here, a little bit there. Your truck might shake on the way back. But... oh my gosh, that's so much easier than everything I've done in the past. So, back in the day, whenever I lowered the EcoBoost Mustang, obviously I had no tools and I had no space or anything, but I still wanted to lower it. And I didn't want to pay a shop because I didn't have the money for it. So I bought the springs for $100. And then the way I installed it was in front of, like, on the street in front of my mom's house in PGA National. And I had already disassembled everything. I was like halfway done, literally halfway done to getting the car lowered. And so then security came over. They're like, hey, you can't, work on your car in the street. I was like, okay, fine, I'll just put it back together, I'm sorry. I was already halfway, so I just continued until I was done, and then I was up out of there. So anyway, to get this little, little arm thing here off, we had to kind of come up with a way to get around it because we have to hold the bolt while we take off the nut. And we don't have, first off, we don't have a number 18, which is what we need. So we're using the 19 and making it work. And on top of that, it wasn't fully intuitive to try to hold the nut while we were doing this. Yes, I do. That's why I have 2 support jacks here, just in case. If this one fails, then this one will catch it, and if that one fails, then that one will catch it, and if they all fail, I die. So in order to get this linkage off right here, we actually had to relieve a little bit of the pressure from it. So in order to do that, all you got to do is raise the other tire off the ground, or at least give it some more distance so that the sway bar isn't putting pressure on this nut right here. Once you do that, you have one wrench holding the end of this bolt, and then the other wrench on the nut itself, and then that's how you can get that piece off. Once you do that, careful, because this whole thing can come down as it did for us. Luckily, everything was fine. But yeah, this I would recommend having loose, but maybe not all the way off. Same as well as this. Have it loose, but not all the way off. And in the videos, they recommended loosening these. I can see why they said that, because it is stiff, but it's not necessary. So we just left them tight, and we were able to maneuver around and actually get the spacer right here, as you can see. So this piece right here is the actual spacer itself. This piece right here is the actual spacer itself, and gives it a little bit of distance, and is gonna raise it the amount that we need. To put Zach's anxiety at ease, we're gonna go above and beyond and torque spec everything to factory. So this is how you use a torque wrench right here. On this side here, you can actually see what number it's at. So I keep it at 150 because the torque spec for Mustangs, the wheels, is to 150. So that's why I keep it at 150. But for what did you say it was for?
Upper control arm frame joint.
Yeah, well, okay, so this one's gonna be 86, but what did it say for like the strut, bottom of the strut?
Oh, that's...
Looked it up on AI. It said that the strut lower bolts are to 37 foot-pounds. So what we do is we go here, we see where 30 is, and kind of add 7 with this number right here. So we're gonna go past 30 a little bit towards 40. 37 would be right there. So that would be 37 foot-pounds. So now what you do is you just put this right on your little bolt. All right, so one final look over everything. Kind of gave it everything a nice little jiggle to see, make sure that everything is tight. I think it is. I hope it is. We're gonna move on.
I'll find out.
We'll find out on Zach's drive home. For now, we're gonna move on, and the next step is actually these spacers. So these are just like the ones that we used to have on the green EcoBoost.
These are 1.5.
1.5
inch,
spacer?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So a bit thicker, but basically the way these work is you just bolt them on, and then the wheels bolt onto the lugs that actually come with these. And these are what's called hub-centric, which is what you're gonna want here. I'll show you exactly what that means. There's 2 types of spacers. There's hub-centric and lug-centric. Hub-centric is where it uses the diameter of this to actually center itself. So that's gonna be the one you want, because it's gonna be perfectly centered on the hub. The other type is lug-centric, which is gonna be ones that are more universal for more cars. And the way they work is instead of being this hole right here being the exact diameter of this, the lug-centric ones are basically lug-centric. So the holes right here have to line up perfectly, but what happens is, you see that there's a tiny bit of play left and right like this? In a lug-centric one, there will also be that up and down, because they're around the lugs, and obviously they can't be perfect to the spec of a screw. So always go with hub-centric. That way, you see up and down motion, doesn't have any. If I pull it out, you can see how much play it would have if it was a lug-centric. So this is what you want. All we're gonna do is get them not tight. We're not gonna quite do any ugga-duggas just yet. We just wanna get it all the way to the end. And actually, what's nice about this tool right here, it actually has different settings. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on 1, so that way we don't accidentally over torque these things. Ah, look at that. Sponsored by DeWalt. Yeah, the channel from now on only uses DeWalt tools, ever since they hooked us up with a whole tool set. Okay, we're on the second wheel now, and as we're taking off all the bolts, we could see right through here, over at the other one, you can see it says Moto Fab. It looks incredible. I think it's looking really, really cool. And it's sick that we can see it right through this window. All right, in typical car working fashion, things don't go as we expected. As you can see, I'm soaked right now because it rained a little bit. We sweat a lot, and we ended up having to go over to Home Depot to get a specific tool to actually be able to loosen some bolts on this thing. To be specific, it was this, this 18 millimeter, because the set that we have is a skip set, so it goes 17 and then 19. So we needed an 18 to take off specifically the piece that holds the sway bar to the lower control arm. That piece needed an exact 18 millimeter wrench because a socket wouldn't work. So we ran to Home Depot, did that. It started getting late. As you can see, I'm soaked. So all I can do now is show you the final product. Wheel spacers are pretty self-explanatory to put on, but we can see a big difference in how the stance is. Also, we took off that bottom lip right there, and it's just giving it so much more road presence and approach angle. I think it looks fantastic, but if we look down the line right here, where we see this wheel and the back wheel, it's a lot more flush with the tread rather than the actual bulge of the outside where it used to be. So I think it looks fantastic. I think
Let's come around this side for the actual.
Yeah, let's check out the other side. So, and even as we're getting into the car, we can already tell a big difference in stepping inside, how it feels stepping inside. And obviously the back is not lifted, but with this spacer right here, we're getting a lot more aggressive stance. So sorry I couldn't take you guys through the whole process. As usual, things happen and we have to move on the fly and think on the fly. So we ended up getting the job done, and this is what it looks like. And yeah, maybe we'll feature this car more in some other videos. But for now, this is done. Car's good to go. And my friend Zach is happy, so.